Thank you for having me.
What are your hopes for Pope Leo when it comes to the issue of reconciliation?
Well, first of all, I want to send my best wishes to the new Pope. I think that he's got a lot of work to do with Indigenous communities, certainly here in Canada. I want to also remember and give kindness and love to the late Pope, Pope Francis, and I want to thank him for his work in apologizing to First Nations people in 2022 in Musqueam, but I also want to thank him for welcoming us to the Vatican in 2022. And I lift him up for his life's work. And I think that he was just a wonderful person, a good man. And his commitment towards righting the wrongs of the past. It's not always an easy thing to do in an institution that likes things a certain way. And so stepping out of that comfort zone and apologizing is a big thing. And so I thank him for his work. I also want to thank him for his commitment to talking about artifacts, about repatriating artifacts from, the Vatican and having those discussions. But at the same time, I think, the new Pope has a lot of work to do, and we look forward to hopefully meeting him sooner than later and talking to him about the history, the church's history, their role in residential schools. And so but I do wish him well. And I know that he's got a lot of work to do around the world, and we'll be praying for him, particularly in a time when the world there's so much unrest, there's so much hatred and division, and we need more lights in the world. And I'm hoping the best for this new Pope.
And when I listen to the words, what you were just saying about Pope Francis and the hope you have, it sounds like you have a lot of optimism and hope that there will be further movement forward when it comes to the reconciliation.
You want to always be hopeful. And I think that, the church, when I was at the Vatican for the funeral, the Vatican came and spoke to me, and they brought me up a lot closer in the crowd. And I think that I'm hoping that's a hopeful clue that work on reconciliation is to continue. All we can do is continue to try build those relationships, but also remembering the past and making sure that no other child ever goes through residential school again.
And with this Pope coming from the U.S., do you think that will help in the relations here?
I'm hopeful because he spent time in Peru, and there's Indigenous people, big groups of Indigenous people in Peru. And I think he would have for sure participated. He was there for 20 plus years. And I think that he would have had some experience working with Indigenous communities in Peru. We, of course, we invite him to meet with First Nations people here in Canada, and we look forward to continuing those discussions. And I want to thank, the cardinals and the bishops that have been in touch, and for their kindness, their prayers, and their love.
Okay, Chief, thank you very much for joining us today. Cindy Woodhouse is the National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations.